I'll reposition the camera once I start doing the forehead and that kind of fun thing. Excuse me. Let's see. Well, hello everybody. I think we are going to fix both the ears. Let me see. We are going to fix both the ears now, so I can move forward. Excuse my fat butt. All right. I'm sweating. I've been outside all day. All right. Okay, so hopefully you guys can hear me. Say hello, hello, hello. All right. So the master copy turned out really nice. I had some little tiny details to fix on it, but they fixed up real nice. And all I have to do now to that is nothing. That's a good feeling. So I'm just cleaning up my tabletop a little bit here so we can get busy. I'm going to keep my scissors over here. I'm kind of going to go off this mask here. It has the details, I can see them. Anybody going to join the chat? What time is it? I'm not even sure. I've lost track of time. Anyway. Yeah, I dropped one of my tools down here. There we go. Gotta have that baby. That's the small one. Keep this off to the side. Scoop me up to this again. And I think we're going to fix the ears. And then we'll move on to finishing the sculpture. Alright, now this isn't going to be hard. I mean, I don't even have to look at an ear to actually to know how an ear is. So that's always good to know, huh? As long as we know what an ear looks like. This is really stiff, this stuff. So what I'm going to do, move that out of the way. I'm on low heat. I don't want it on high heat. I'm about I'm going to say about 12 inches away, maybe even 13. All I'm doing is warming up the clay. Just warming up the clay. And now, let's get some movement around here. Man, we really scraped off a lot of clay here. So I'm going to have to re-dig out, it looks like, these areas where I had the ear formed. It's not going to be hard to do. You know what? There's still a piece of plaster back there. I don't want that in there. Dig that out. No plaster. If you want any plaster in your clay, get it out. I'm still going to keep the back of the ear flat like I did on the other ears, because it just turned out so much better. It really did. I'm just generally shaping. I'm putting the shape back into the ear. You know, I'm gonna leave that guy. He's in my way right now. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna find the point about there. All right, this tool's just this rake's a little bit too big, so it works right into this area, but it doesn't work down below where I need it the most. So we're going to use this tool. It's a little smaller, not much. Well, another chunk of plaster right there. And make sure that don't get mixed in with my new clay ball that I have. Sorry, I'm blocking your view, but I got to be able to hold on to this at the same time as I need a loop, but I need something like this. Too much clay is missing right out of here. And I forgot to warm up my other ball. No big deal, we just stick that right in here like that. I know this is clean clay, so alright, so I need to warm up this ball of clay too. Keep working on holding it instead of warming it up with the, I don't want to warm it up with the, what do you call it, the heat gun. I'm going to try and do it with my hand. And that's just simply holding it in my hand for about 15 minutes. Less than that, probably like 10 minutes actually. Meanwhile, manipulate this piece. Bringing it down to the height of where it's supposed to be. it's pretty warm in my hand already. So what I want to do is I want to create a little noodle. Check my before I go crazy, I have to make sure that this ear is out far enough before I go and start hacking this out. The only thing I have left to do on this ear, believe it or not too much. I have to just fill in where the ear part's supposed to go. And we're just going to do a little piece at a time. I'm not going to try, well, you know what, it's a better idea if I do a long noodle. It's better if I do a real long noodle, I can shape it perfectly. Yo, Crusher. I meant to ask you, man. I can see the monitor, so I can see your text. I'm fixing ears tonight, and then I'm going to be doing possibly some more texturing up in the forehead in this area here, on here. Right now, I want to fix both ears. I get the ears back to where they were. I got to fix this neckline. I got to get rid of that seam, get rid of some of the seams in here, but not a big deal. So how's the mask? How's it holding up? I mean, you haven't really said much about it since you've gotten it, so you're my only guy that actually possesses one of the masks, so you need to let people know what your thoughts are on it. If you don't really like it, that's fine. I don't, Yeah, I got that. You're afraid to comment on it because it's a freebie. I'm ignoring the call, guys. I'm ignoring the call. All right, so we're still live, right? Yeah. I didn't get interrupted, thank God. Let me get back to where the camera was now. Better. There you go. Okay. Make sure I'm still on, guys. Crusher, say something, will you? Text something. Hopefully I'm still live. It says I am, but there's 4 watching. So we're putting the ear back on. Getting the ear back to where it was. Way too heavy here. Just pull it back. Now this is where the clay, it's important that the clay is nice and soft so you can shape it with your hands. I'm more worried about this earlobe. I can even make this ear look like that ear if I want. You know? I might do that. I don't like this point in this ear. I like my ear rounded. Let's see. Take some of this out of there because it's making that ear, the perimeter of the ear looks too big. This is all rough. Right now I'm just doing a rough end. You know, the smoothing part comes a little bit later. Anybody that's seen me do ears, I kind of get to them quick. I don't play around with the ears. I get them done. The one thing about an ear is it's not a real smooth surface, so it actually is easier to do because it's not perfect. It's not perfectly smooth. Our ears, man, if you just feel the inside of your ear, man, you can't find one smooth spot that doesn't have a wrinkle or a crease in it or something. Even our outer ear, man, it's all, even this part of the ear is very lumpy, and so, but you don't want it to be ridiculously out of shape. Alright, so we're going to keep working on this ear until I get it back to where it needs to be. And we're not that far off now. The thing about an ear is it sneaks back in. It peeks out about here, and then it sneaks back into the face here, and it sneaks back into the face, right into the inner ear. That's the trick to ears. Oh yeah. I can't do this with my glasses. Crusher, it looks like it's you and me tonight. Like there's too many people on. It says 4 people. Okay, we got 4 people watching. I'm happy with that. I'm good. I'm not trying to set any world records here. Alright, I need my big loop. Big Earlobe. There it is. Now that's sunk in just a little too far for my liking right in here. Actually, do it this way. I'll do that last. Let's do this first. Let's get the depth of the ear right first. I see. Piece of rock, of course. Get it out of there. Good thing I'm still lowering this. Just generally getting the shape right. Yeah, you can't believe how fast it comes together, the ears. For me, anyway. There's some people have a very hard time with the ears. I have more problems with the nose than I do with the ears. I think the nose, the reason why it's difficult is it's very smooth in spots. That one needs a scooper. All right, now this area here. Any questions, guys? You just like watching what I'm doing. Okay, right. I need something a little smaller. Get in here. Well, right now it's trying to get the contour right. You don't want, in other words, it's shallow here and it gets thicker here and then it goes shallow again here. And I have to go a lot shallower, not much more, but a little bit more in that area right in here. It's too much earlobe here. It's too big. Cut it back. I don't even have a picture up outside of what's here, but I'm not really following that. I'm staying with my original shape on my ear. All right. So where's the spoon? Where's the spoon? The moon and the spoon. Anybody know what that is? The moon and the spoon. Looking for my spoon. It's here. It's here. I knew it was there. Let me turn this on the side so you can see what I'm doing. I'll face this to the camera a little bit more. And I'm tucking this in here, smoothing that there. I'm going to have to throw some clay in there. You have to make sure you have this inner ear completely cleaned out and fixed before you put that ear clef on, this part right here. You gotta make sure everything's back to normal inside the ear. And it ain't. It's nowhere near it yet. I kind of work around the whole thing. I don't stay in one spot. I'll work a little here, I'll work a little there. I just follow my eye. Wherever my eye takes me, that's where I go. That's how that works in the field of art. Let your eye lead the way. It's already taken shape pretty good. Now I'm going to stick some clay, very thin noodle. There's a gap between the two areas here. And I want this to be thin because I really want to sneak it inside and push it in there. So I'll show it to you when I get to that point. Right in here, you'll see a little bit of a seam that I'm going to fill in a second. And now the clay is nice and soft in my hand. Alright, now take the magic spoon. That's what this tool is right here, guys. That's the magic spoon. So you want that shape you want that spoon shape. So I can really mash it in there. How about that? How about that? Now, that's about the same distance, but see, I want a little bit more bulk right here. I took a little too much away. So I want a thin noodle of clay. Thin noodle of clay. Oh yeah, you guys can see I've been working on the sculpture. I mean, I got a long way to go. I do. I mean, it doesn't seem like it's going to take that long, but by the time I smooth it out and everything, it's going to be a while. All right, I need this turned back this way. And this is the area that I'm trying to bring back to the proper. Don't be afraid of your tools too. You do what you can with your hands, and then you really have to use your tools. Your hands will be really good at rounding things out really nice. But when you get down inside of here, there's no way I'm going to be able to, or even in this flat area, I have to use tools. Just smoothing out the back of the ear because it got wrecked. Okay, so what do I want to do right here? think I'm going to use this tool. I need one of these only like half the diameter, and I don't have one. I can't. And every time I go to try and find one, they're either too small or too big. That definitely ain't it. Sometimes I'm forced to do odd shapes, and I don't like doing that. And I want to use these. These are none of these are the right size. Okay. Let me see. That's even too big. Yeah, look at the size of that one. Woohoo! Cutting donuts with that bad boy. Cutting donut holes with that one. Hey. No, we don't need anything that big. I don't need the rake. I'm going to keep digging and see if I can't find. Ooh. It's not quite a perfect loop, but maybe I can. No, I can't bend that. Looks like I'm going to be stuck with the spoon with this. Smoothing this out with a spoon. That was a homemade. Ooh, I got another one here. Hold on. Here we go. This might work. That one might work. Yes, indeedy. Now, naphtha is going to help me out a lot with this. All right, hold on. We'll get there. We're not there yet. Okay, this is what I'm going to do with the spoon. I'm going to push this right in the center deeper because it's not. When I pulled this mold off and I melded that ear, it literally pulled this section of ear all forward and it pushed this all out of distortion. It is not even close to where it's supposed to be. And we need that to be in the right position because the ear hole has to line up. Thank God the ear hole was dug in, so I know that the ear hole is still in the right location. What I mean by that is when you wear your mask, if that ear hole is not close to your ear, you can't hear out of your mask. So, that's why it's important. I'm a big believer in making sure that when you buy an armature, it's an accurate armature. You don't want to make a homemade armature unless it's your own head. And you're only making your mask for you. That's why I never did a life cast of my own head because I just don't think it's necessary. You need a one size does it all kind of thing. And this is a male Ed head. And that's what I'm using underneath it here. I'll never take this clay off of here. There's no point to it. Not this monster clay anyway. I'll keep resculpting it and shifting it. I have my eyes lined up. I have my mouth lined up. I have the ear holes lined up. And why change it? You just keep your eyes where they're at, you keep the nose where it's at, and you just make different creatures. But you keep everything fundamentally the same location. Um, Fight me now. I dare you, fight me. There you go. Yeah, that's still not quite where it's got to be. This whole ear got so shifted. I'm working on the inner side, the inner ear. The inner ear is what got messed up. Now that's right. Let's pull this together. Okay. Let's smooth that out on the inside. And we're going to take down a little of this right here. Time to clean up the deck here. Time to clean the deck off a little bit here because it's got clay all over the place. I don't want the clay all over my tools. Where the real time comes into play is when you're smoothing this all out. When you go to smooth it all out, because the shape is pretty much still the same. No new questions, huh? There's 3 watching. 1 thumbs up. Okay, now what I'm going to do is I'm going to throw a little heat gun to this to try and smooth out this inside a little bit better with my fingers and the inner edge here, right in here. I'm not seeing any new hold on, let me scroll down and see if this thing's scrolling, because when I got that stupid phone call, it wrecked, I think it wrecked the stream a little bit. Back in here's a mess. We'll fix that, no problem. There we go. Finally, somebody posted something. Press band, any preferences on conditions for displaying finished masks? And max temperatures. And references conditions for displaying finished masks. Finished mask, when you're doing displays, I'm not sure what your question is. I can just tell you this. You don't want your masks in direct sunlight. Absolutely forbidden thing to do. I like to protect my rubber masks before I put the sealant on it. Actually, no. Yeah. Before I put the sealant on it, I put a little bit of, I rub in some Armor All, especially on the inside of the mask. Inside and out. And then I'll start painting it just to protect the latex raw before you even put any paint on it. I put a little Armor All on the rubber. Some go, whoa, how does that work? You know, because you think that the Armor All doesn't stay on the surface; it absorbs into the latex. That's why it works. Anyway, I haven't any problems with it. I haven't any problems yet with it. So, but when it comes to displaying your mask and stuff, man, you definitely don't want to be in sunlight. That's your worst enemy. Yeah, direct sunlight's a no-no. Let me try and figure out what else you mean by what. Let me see. Any preference on conditions for displaying finished masks? Well, lighting's important. If you're going to display your mask, I recommend on these lights that I have on both sides of me, one here and one here, and they're hitting both at the same, you know, they're coming down on an angle. I have a blue filter that I put on my check mark side, and on this side I have the white light, and I keep it on a very low light, very as low as you can go with your lights. Believe it or not, most of these cameras pick up the lighting a lot more efficiently. And Nick Mulpagano, actually, if you look him up on Handy Boy Studios, the way he lights his masks, perfect on display and stuff. That's the way you want to do it. You know, he's got a lot more videos on that stuff than I do. I never really, I don't know. I know about lighting because I've been a disc jockey my entire life. I know how to make it look. You know, I know it would work and what wouldn't. Sometimes, like even when I do pictures, I take pictures, my phone wants to, even in the dark situations, it's picking up way too much light, so I end up turning down my aperture way down to 0 on my photo shots that I do at nighttime in my living room with only my wash lights, directional, and I have them down like this, but I still keep it so you can see the face of the mask, you know, but it's still casting shadows right in here. Still casting the shadows. That's what you're trying to do, cast that shadow. You want those shadows, see those features. I have the lights really high up and they're pointed just like that, right down on the mask. Hold on, let me see if I can. Yeah, they're like this on both sides of the mask, down on an angle like that. And they are out in front a little bit. They're not over top directly down. You want to have a little bit of light so you can see your features. Like you can see this check mark here, but if I throw the light literally straight over its head, you won't see that check mark. It'll get washed out in the shadow. You won't see it. So your light has to be out in front of it just a little bit, and you adjust the light. Move the lights until you get that right look, until it looks right to you. That's the best way to. I mean, if temperature, okay, that's a sticky situation, isn't it? I wouldn't put an extreme heat. You know, it's rubber. Think of it this way. Look what happens to our cars, the inside of our interiors. If we don't take care of that leather, and we don't take care of that, vinyl. I would say vinyl is the closest thing to latex, and you pretty much want to treat it the same way. Yeah, cold would be just as bad. You got to remember, this is rubber from a rubber tree. It's a plant-based, and you know how trees are with sap. They don't do well in cold climate. They don't do, that's why, rubber trees don't grow in cold climate. The tree that produces latex is way down south. I'm not even sure where. Good question. Maybe we should do a follow-up on that. Where does the rubber tree grow the most? The rubber that's actually produced, makes latex masks. Where does that tree grow? And that'll give you a good idea of kind of the environment that the tree does well in. But excessive heat, like you shut this thing inside of a garage, and it's 110 degrees out one day or 2 days, your mask is going to dry out like unbelievable. So I wouldn't do that. Okay, will temperatures above 80 in a house melt a mask? And I don't think 80 would do it, because that's temperatures that I would say are kind of year-round where the rubber tree grows. But the sap that's inside the tree has the tree protecting it, and the tree is also a little cooler. you know, you just got to think about where the rubber comes from. You know, and that's how I would treat my rubber. Okay, let's get back to the ear. It always comes down to, you know, think about what it is that we're working with here. We're clay. This is a wax-based clay. This doesn't take the heat very much. You know, this doesn't like heat at all. It does not like heat. So let me see. What do I? And there's still a lot of imperfections with this. A little too many. I want it to look naturally lumpy, but not clay sculpted lumpy. If that makes any sense. All right. And you see at the very peak here, where I'm making that, I'm not making that a real sharp edge. You don't want that to be sharp. You want it to be naturally bent, like, you know, it's an ear. It's not. And all these little imperfections that I'm digging in a little bit here and there, that just adds character to the ear. As long as I get it smooth, you see how that just smoothed out really nice in there and I got the lumps out? That's what I'm trying to do everywhere. Not every no two ears are alike. I think that's the number one thing on the human body, that we can definitely be assured that we don't have an exact duplicate of. Even exact twins do not have the same ears. They're not shaped exact the same. It's a weird thing. Ears are very kind of like on their own as far as the shaping of them. I wonder why. That was an interesting question. I wonder why ears shape the way they do. I wonder how they shape the way they do. You know? Not so much, we understand what the concept of the ear, what it does. Captures sound and funnels it into here. But what is this all about? What's this? Does that reflect some sound? It comes in, it keeps real loud noises from hitting your inner ear? I don't know. I mean, there's some protection because your ear is a very vulnerable place on your body. You know, if you don't believe it, stick a pin in there and see what it feels like. No, don't do that. Don't anybody listen to what bad advice. Somebody's liable to try it. You never know, man. Weird world today. Oh my God. Yeah, I'm trying to get this inner ear nice and smooth. And I'll stick nabs on this whole thing and really brush it out. I gotta get the inside of this ear right before I put this ear clef in here. I call it an ear clef. It's a little thing that goes right there in front of the hole in your ear. This thing right here. You gotta put that in here. Anyway. But I'm a ways away from doing that, so let's see what I can do. I have a small spoon to get into these little spots. Okay, what do we got here? What are we saying here? That new sculpture is looking great. The H40 and the Trick or Treat Studios Kirk make. People converted to H1 and H2 mask are some of my favorites. I really love this sculpt. I really do, but my only problem with it, it's too small of a mask. Most of my friends, very few friends, actually fit into this mask. And I have a lot of people that actually play Michael Myers, including my brother. Now my brother's 6'6", so he gets a 27-inch mask, yeah, and it fits him nice. So it's actually 27 and a half inches, his mask. This is only 23 3/4 or 24 inches. It's a very small mask. Yeah, this mask here is only 23 to 24, 23 and a half or 24 inches. And man, when it's on my face, it's like it crushes my face. So I knew when I put that on, I'm like, okay, guess what? I got to make a new mask. I got to make my own mask. And at that time, I thought, oh God, that's impossible. I'm too busy in my other business. There was no way I could ever make a mask. Where is that thing? There it is. Okay. I'll get some work done now, baby. All right, let me try and turn this just a little bit so I can see. I'm just trying to... It's a homemade tool right here. Made this with coping saw blades. Works great because it has a rake on one end. It's a rake on one side, and the other side's flat. Right now I'm using the flat side because I'm smoothing. Just gotta get this inner ear done, and I'm gonna start smoothing this out. I'm blocking your view. Hold on. Can I do it that way so it's not blocking your view? Well, this pretty much showed you just how to get the ears right back to where they were. Almost. Nothing's going to be exact. You want exact? I ain't the guy. I don't like being exact. I like my mask to be a little bit different. Every mask has its own flavor, has its own little quirks about it and imperfections. Yeah, that's looking good. I don't want to start slapping naphtha on there before I get it to where I know it'll smooth out nicely, because once you start putting that naphtha on there, I can't touch this for at least an hour because it softens the clay up so dramatically. And You don't want that. Oh, that's nice. All I need is, I gotta get some loop tools that are small, really change in range. All right, I got a bigger loop here that I can work with now. Where'd you go? Where'd you go? Where'd you go? There you go. See, this is the size I'm going to be working with right inside of here right now. That smoothed it out nice. Now, I know there's a huge difference between this ear and that ear. You see this inner ridge? He's got that copied in such a way where it's, or the way his version of it is, he's got it to where it's like real close to the edge. This whole thing comes in, but then scoots back and gets pointy right up here. I don't like that pointy ear. But mine is a little bit, you know, down towards the base. And there's a reason why I do mine that way. It's easier to clean. It's easier to fix anything if the mold gets messed up or something. It's still accurate because ears are all different. You know, they're not. This looks more like the 78, if I remember correctly. This ear looked more closer to the original. You know, I've got to get some light up underneath of this because I can't see how screwed up this is up underneath of here. But this is just about ready for some naphtha. Right in here, I need a little tiny scoop. Make sure I got the cutting edge. There it is. Let's smooth that out real nice. What is that doing there? Okay, so what we need now is a square edge. Something stuck on here. I see it. I see your message. Hold on. Okay, let's read some messages here. I sent you a message through eBay last week. Thank you for the response. I asked you about a smaller mask because my head is a little over 22.5 inches. Yes. Here's what I can do. All right. I can take the 25-inch one, right? 25 and a half. And what I'll do is I'll dwell cast it till it goes to its maximum thickness. All right. And then what I can do is do a couple more slush casts into that, so it'll give you a really thick mask. Now, the thicker a mask is, the more it'll shrink. The mask that's on eBay, I couldn't have done that with, because it was already too far gone with cured. I don't know though. They say you can add the latex to it even if it's cured. I don't know. I don't mind it doing it. Like if I do add another coat of slush casting in there, I want to make sure it's fresh latex, not wet latex, but fresh. You don't want it to be too old. Like, you know, the mask was a couple weeks old by the time I posted it on eBay. By the time I got done painting it and hairing it and everything. Plus, I was working on other masks too, so it didn't come. I didn't spit it out. It wasn't like I fresh off the press. It was at least 2 weeks old, the mask itself. So, but if you want a custom, I'm going to say it's going to cost you a little bit more than the average. Private message me on the price, because I already made up my mind on what my pricing is going to be on my masks. The hell with eBay, I don't care. I just think right now people are hurting. They don't have the money, and even Nick Mopagano said, I mean, his mask still sells, and he's well established. That's understandable, but a lot of these guys are not selling like crazy right now. They're not doing well. eBay, I've seen some masks, you know, selling for $200, $300, $500, $600, and they don't even look that good. And I'm thinking, Jesus. I had a couple really low ball offers on this mask, and I thought, you know what? I'm not going to waste my time. I thought about it. My starting bid on my mask from now on is going to be $250, because I can't go lower than $250. I can't go lower than $250 on any mask. It's impossible, because I spend a lot of money between the hair, the painting. You know, I do spend the extra money in getting the good stuff. I get good hair. As a matter of fact, I don't know how good this will show. For the H1, look at those fibers. Look how it's even got the little white fibers that are in. Hold on, let me bring it up so you can see it. But look how good that hair is. That's some real cool hair. All right, that's a full pound. I spend a lot of money for this hair, and yeah, look at that. It's even got the white. It looks like it's a blended wool, and it's got the thicker fibers and a little bit of the white. Now it's good for one. H2, I'm using the same hair. It's pretty much the same. No, it's not the same hair. It's similar to, and it's kind of like my little secret, because I want to keep this this hair separate. This hair is a little bit of a secret right here for me, because nobody shared their secret with me on what hair to get. I've been trying to get that information. Nobody wants to share it. Fine, I'm not going to share my discoveries, because I went through hell with several companies trying to find the right hair, trying to find the right blend. I also have a blending board so I can mix hair, and I do that as well. Now this stuff that I have, I dye. And this stuff has the sheen, the same sheen that mohair has. See the shine in this? There's a little bit of a shine. This is not mohair, but it's thicker. See the nice thick fiber? Look how thick that fiber is in there. See that fiber sticking up? That's human hair is 50 oh God, 50, what is it? I want to say 50 milligrams. Oh my God, now I can't think of the right, not milligrams, it's not milligrams, it's microns, I'm sorry. Human hair is 50 microns and above, all right? And most of the wools that I have been finding online have all been basically probably anywhere from 25 to 35 range, and that's too thin. The fiber's too thin. Mohair is thinner than the stuff here that I have in my hand, but it looks good on the H2. Now this will still give you a nice shine. Now what I have to do is I have to dye this a very blondish look for the Halloween 2 version of this, not this, but the my 78 is going to be. You can turn it into an H2 or an H1. It's still the 78 mask. It's the same mask. It's just it's painted differently. So that's pretty much. Yeah, well, that's the thing, Pressman. If I put more latex, see, I can. All right, you dwell cast a mask, all right, to give it a nice uniform thickness, all right, and the max that a mold will pull moisture out of a dwell cast when it sits for like 5 hours, I would say 4 hours. 4 hours maximum, because it's not going to pull any more moisture out of that latex, because the rubber creates its own barrier from the mold from absorbing. It won't absorb, but only so far into the mask. So I find that about an 1/8 inch thick is about maximum a dwell cast will do, and that's pretty thick. But if I start slush casting over top of the dwell casted mask on the inside, meaning I can add thickness to it. I can add the thickness to it, but we don't know exactly how far that'll shrink. But here's another option. You can also put padding inside the mask. If you have a 22.5 inch head, I will try to figure out exactly how much padding you would. Actually, the best way to do that is put it on, and you can buy that foam padding and kind of just contact cement it into your mask, and it'll fit snug as a rug. And I just think that you have to. Now, as far as your body type, is the mask going to look too big on you? That I can't determine. I don't know. I just don't know. But you're going to play very hard to find a mask that will fit you anyway. If the Trick or Treat Studios doesn't do it for you, I don't know of any mask maker that's making anything that's in the 24 range. The very few mask makers go that far down because they know most people need the mask to be a little bigger. I think 25 inches is the perfect size. But because of my brother's head, he needed a 27 and a half. That was the maximum I wanted to go. He could have gone as far as 28 inches. That's how big he is. But I told him, I says, I can't make the master any bigger than 27 and a half. There's no way. Because if I do that, then I'd have to make 3 molds. I'd have to make it 1 latex, and I'd have to make a latex mask foam fill it, then make another mold from that latex mask, foam fill it, and then make another mold of that latex mask to bring it down. I'd have to do it 3 times, and that's just a lot of work. I'd have 3 sizes available, but most people fit in a 25-inch mask. 25 and a half is, it's doable. It's still doable, and it still looks good on people. I mean, I put that 25 and a half inch mask on me, and it's tight on me. You know, I don't know. You wouldn't believe how big this sculpture is. By the time I shrink it down, it's it's pretty thick. I mean, it's a pretty big mold. It's a pretty big sculpture, very big. I mean, look at it next to the Trick or Treat Studios. They're right next to each other. They're literally right next to each other. Look at the difference. Oh my God. Look at the difference. The chin's all, the top of the head is where that top of the head is, right? They're almost flush. But the chin is all the way down by the neckline. So if that gives you any idea. Dropping my tools. All right, time for some naphtha to smooth it out, and then to see where I'm at as far as the lumps go, and see what it looks like. All right, so let me pull this back to me again. And I want to put it so it's facing you guys, so you can see it. You can see the magic happen. Now what I like to do is I take my special brushes that I use just for naphtha, and how I say that, how I know is that they're full of clay. But it all comes out like really easy and really fast. Swooshing it around. Now, I still got to do the back of the ear real good, but I'm just trying to take a look at what's going on the inside of this ear. And we'll see what we'll fix the back of the ear later. Doesn't have to be tonight. I just figure I go on here and show you guys the process. And believe it or not, that ear looks almost good enough, right the way it is. Almost. All right, clean off the brush again. Now the second time around, I like to wipe off the brush a little bit. I don't like to keep all that naphtha on there because it's already soft. Now I'm just trying to take the brush strokes out. Any of the That's an ear. That's an ear, guys. That's the right ear. And I still got to fix this area in here. Look how lumpy it is here. I got to probably add a little bit of clay to that area, but I let it get hard. I got to fix this again. The tear. Only that gets more wrecked than what it is. Now I put the cracks in my sculpture in the H1. It just looked cool. I just liked it. So I did it. I like to be a little different. I don't care if it's not the exact replica of the H1 or H2 or H anything. It's my custom corpses, NightCreeper, 78, and it does give you the Shatner look. It gives you all the looks of the Shatner look. It's just not going to be an exact replica of any mask. See, guys? Gives you that really badass attitude. Yeah, the 78 was a bigger mask. Yeah, I mean, it really, you don't know how much it will shrink. I do know if I really add a lot more latex to the inside, like say if I dwell cast it for maximum time and it's an 1/8 inch thick, and then I add another 1/8 inch thick doing like 3 coats. So you're going to have a 1/4 inch thick mask. Now that's not going to, you're not going to lose any features, and you'll have that mask for longer than I'll be alive, because it'll be so thick, it'll last you a long time. But when I do a mask that thick, I'm going through a lot of latex, man. It costs me a lot of money. Latex right now, I just ordered some today from Biddy Mold out of Texas, and it was $160 plus shipping, so it brought it up to literally $200 to have this 5 gallons of latex sent to me. And I only get about 20 masks out of 5 gallons. So if I have to double and triple the thickness of a mask, that's added expense, man. That's added expense. And I can't just make a mask thicker and do it cheap or the same price. It's just impossible. Because what I'm doing is literally using enough latex to make 2 masks for your 1 mask, if that makes any sense. And then from there, you're going to have some serious shrinkage. That will shrink up quite a bit. So I don't think, I would probably charge an extra $100 on my mask if you wanted my mask that bad, for the added latex. I would have to because it's too much. What I can do is I can do it the way I'm talking. I know that it'll shrink up more than, it'll probably bring it down to 25 or maybe 24 3/4. If I do that thickness of the mask, it'll definitely be thicker. And you also have to remember, the thickness, if it's that thick on the inside, that means it's going to be that much tighter on you because it's going to be thicker. It's going to be a thicker mask. We don't make the mask any bigger from the outside. We can only shrink the mask from the inside because the inside is where all the latex it goes into. But yeah, well, it's not because I want to be, man, I really would love to do these masks cheaper because I'm not really doing this for money. I do it, yeah, no, I am, don't get me wrong. I want to make a living at some point with this business. I want it to flourish. I'm a one-man act. I don't have 2 people. I don't even have anybody to do my streaming with me. I can't, once in a while my buddy helps me out, but he's busy too. He does a lot of streaming. He does a lot of these games and stuff. And he's like truck driving games and all kinds of stuff. He does videos on those. So I don't have somebody that can actually do my video while I'm doing the work. So I'm kind of doing it all. And I want to grow this channel. I'm 60 years old. So my thing is I want to be at 62 when I retire. I want an income coming in from this channel, possibly, hopefully, and also, making a little bit of money doing this. So I'm not worrying about little bills, and I can work out of my house. The goal is between now and 2 years from now to be making some money. Right now, I'd love to make a little bit of money right now and try to really grow it and try to sell some masks. But you know, right now everybody is hurting so bad. The gas prices, the food prices. You know, I'm not going to get into politics. Let's not talk about that because I don't want to use I don't want to talk about politics on here. But they can't deny that this isn't going on. You know, we've got these huge problems that we didn't have a couple years back, and now it's making people really careful about how they got to spend their money. You know, if you're fortunate if you still have a job. Just saw today we're definitely in a recession now. That's not good. Never is. But I knew it was going to happen. I knew because I've been around long enough. Let's just say that I've been on this planet for 60 years. I've seen a lot of stuff, and you see through what's true and what isn't. So, and I'm not going to talk politics. I'm not going to say yay, nay, or in between, for who or for what. I don't care at this point. I'm going to be alive for maybe 20 more years if I'm lucky. You know, productive years, should I say that? You know, I want to enjoy those years. I want to enjoy what's left of my time. I don't want to spend a waking moment worrying about things I can't control. So I want to be friends with everybody. I want everybody to like me. If they don't, and they don't. I don't care. But you know, I don't want to create an enemy on here either because of my politics or their politics. I just think a lot of people are starting to really realize, starting to wake up. And that's a good thing because I think what's scary more than anything else is the way our kids are being educated. You know, I'm just worried for them because they're just, you know, it's scary. You know, I don't know what the next generation's going to do because it's just, wow. I don't know. Let's not get into that because that's a touchy subject with me because I've got kids that are now 28 years old and they're struggling to try and get started in their lives and this world is not helping. So, but this is going to be a really cool sculpture when this is done. I think you guys are going to really love this this mask when it's finished. Back it up so you can see his lips too. Yeah, everything's going up in price. It's just, it's a sad thing. It's just bad all the way around. You know, just I've been blessed. I've been blessed, you know, for a lot of years working, doing what I do. To me, it was never really a job. So, boy, if you can find something that you're passionate about and you really love it, you've never worked a day in your life. And they're very rare, and it's very rare that people chase their passion. Most times they get caught up in chasing the dollar. We have to chase the dollar, don't get me wrong. But if you can find something that you're passionate about and you really love, remember this, at this age, my age is 60, at this age, you don't, when you're 20 something, you do not realize just how fast life really goes. You don't, you have no clue. You really think that, oh man, my grandfather's 78 years old, man. That's a lot of years, man. That's old. Yeah? Believe me, man, it feels like yesterday that I was 20 something. And I really mean it because I'm one of the rare people that actually chased after passion than I did. I was lucky. I was born with a gift of, between art. Had perfect pitch hearing. I've always loved music. Music was dynamite when I first started DJing, and I had the best years, I think, as a disc jockey. The best years, and I think the best years of all music came out, dance music especially, came out between the years 1978 through 1985. Now, I know that's a lot of my prime years, but when I'm DJing now with the old school, the majority of the music that they ask for are from those years. The people that are coming into the clubs, the bar, so to speak. It's kind of weird, but I find myself playing a lot of that music and freestyle from the 80s. A lot of freestyle, Latin freestyle. Stevie B, that kind of thing. And I love that stuff too. I do. I like that music as well. So I'm done with that ear, I think. I'm still going to probably fine tune it. It looks a little too bulky around the ear. This area just looks a little too fat to me. I don't know though. I might leave it. I might take it away. I got to look at some pictures. Might be a little too fat. But I already did this side. I pretty much started on that side. But I got a lot more work to do. The ear got ripped behind here, so I've got some work to do on that. You know what? I'm just going to dig out that hole real quick, and then I'm going to call it a night, guys, because I'm tired. I'm ready to go watch some Boober Tube. Where'd my scuba go? There's one. Where's the other? There it is. I make my ear holes a little bigger. They're behind the ear clefts, so you don't really see it, but it gives you plenty of, you'll be able to actually hear real good out of this mask. One of the biggest problems with these masks is the Michael Myers mask is people always say that I can't hear out of it, I can't breathe in it. I mean, my mask, I haven't had that complaint, but a lot of people do complain about that. Look at me, I'm telling you, I'm going to get off, and I'm already kind of getting mesmerized by fixing this ear. What the hell is that? He's a stone. Get out of here. Cleaning it up. So what else are we talking here? Anybody leaving any more messages? Still got four likes, 4 watching. I love it. So yeah, guys. I mean, we're gonna make this thing look really cool. This will be the NightCreeper 40 when this is done. And I'll come on every step of the way with this one to show you guys what I'm doing. I think I did a little bit of this process with you guys on here the other day. Maybe I didn't. I'm not sure. I'm going to have to go look at the video. I don't know if I just did a chat and showed you where I was going with this, because I was in a rush. I knew that. I was doing like 5 different things. That's the problem. I was bouncing from trying to make the other mask. Yeah, there was a lot going on. The foam filling. I was doing the foam filling. I was sculpting on this. I was dealing with rain. That's what the real problem was. I dodging raindrops, and every time I try to get something done, it would interfere with me. So anyway. Now the reason why I'm taking away a little bit on the neck is I want to expose any kind of stone that might still be in the seam. I got 99% of it out, but every once in a while I'll come across one, and there's one right there. Just gotta bring out my little handy dandy hook tool. See these at the dentist office? Yeah, works great though. Got that out of there. It's just that little bit of stone can mess up your whole sculpture. Can mess you up big time, and I'll tell you why it'll mess you up. Because anytime you're smoothing out and you hit that little spot, all of a sudden it'll be a big streak, and it'll mess you up constantly mess you up. I still feel something else hard. It's not there though, it's somewhere else. Right there, just exposed it. Weird, if you pay attention to your tools, pay attention to the feel as you're touching. Now when I put that tool on the sculpture, I'm not digging in, I'm not pressing, I'm just literally like a pencil in your hand. I'm only doing this. I'm letting the sculpture dictate how much it takes off. I'm not taking it off. The blade is just running across and smoothing out the areas. This guy's a ways to go. I'm going to melt that down a little bit more and make that ear nice. Oh yeah. I'm happy with it. You guys happy with it? You think it looks pretty good so far? What do you think of this? What do you think of that sculpture so far? Take a good look at the cracks in the eyes, and I still got to do the forehead and stuff. I got some fixing to do right here. That got raked. That literally peeled like a banana. It was a big piece missing right here. And on my sculpture, I have like a ridge. It's from like here on up. It's on the actual original mask. And there's also a ridge here and over here. There's a center ridge. So, all right, I'm done for tonight. I've done everything I'm going to do tonight. At least I got something done. I got the ear starting to take the shape that I'm, back into where it needs to be. I'm looking at this. Hold on. You know what? It's a good idea now that I got the camera. I want that shot dead on. What I'm looking at is the thickness of each ear. Look at this side versus that side. That side's a little too thick. This side's a little too thick. Gotta bring it in some, but that's okay because I got so much ear sticking out there. It's all right. Okay, guys. Yeah, we'll discuss that, Pressman. We will. You'll have to private message me on. You sent me an email, right? Isn't that where you originally sent me an email? Yeah, I think you sent me an email. My email, guys, if you ever want to reach out to me, is DJ Styles with 3 Y's. It's DJSTYYYLES at gmail.com. Alright? D is in dog, J is in jump, Styles, STYYYLES at gmail.com. And anybody that's interested in a mask, I can quote you a price on the mask. The H2s are going to be done. I'm going to have, I don't have any up for sale yet. I don't have any for sale yet. So if you want one, I'd rather go by order only. So it's going to be a couple weeks before I can get your mask made, and then however long it takes to ship it to you. But I want to do order only because honestly, how I feel about the whole, I don't want to make 15 masks and then not have any of them move. And the other thing too is you don't want the latex sitting around for a year or whatever. Say I sell maybe a top of 10 masks. Well, I'm just going to be stuck with 5 and wasted latex. I don't like wasting anything. Not at this stage of the game. So it's going to be order only, and I'm pretty sure I'm going to have to do a deposit to make sure that you don't change your mind in midstream after I've already made the mask. Can't do that. It's just not smart business, that's all. So anyway, yeah. This is where I'm at, and I'm slowly but surely. That's why I'm kind of like, I don't know. All right. See, it's so funny. I started thinking about it. I got the minimum. Like an idiot, not like an idiot, but I followed some advice, and they told me to put the mask up on that last go round that I just did for a starting price at $150. Well, I can't get rid of it for less than $250, so I had to put the reserve price at $250. Sure enough, I got an offer for $125. I'm going, you know what? I can't even make a mask for that much money. It costs more than that to make the mask. It's crazy, man. People just don't know. They have no clue. No clue. And then just thinking about the time spent. This is 12 months of sculpting to get to this guy. And I can't tell you how many retools I've done to it. So it's actually probably, if you count in all the retooling that I've done to this mask, you're probably looking at 2 years, 2 solid years to produce this sculpture. A lot of work. Now I'm sure, there's expert sculptors out there that are a lot faster. I ain't that guy. And I'm going to say 2 years. When I say 2 years, I didn't work on this every day, eight hours a day. You know, I worked at it at my leisure. Just like I'm here now, what do I do? Spend about 2 hours here, and that's it. That's all I'm doing for the day, you know. So it's, you know, if I really summed it up to an 8 hour day doing doing the sculpture, I probably have about 6 months wrapped up into it total to get to this point, you know. So, but from the time I started this thing, it was 2 years ago. So, when COVID hit, that's when I started this. Excuse me. But yeah, there's a lot of work and time that goes into making a mask, especially an independent mask maker. Sometimes it's more affordable to just go out and buy the Trick or Treat Studios $60 mask. But by the time you buy that, that's 60. Plus, you're going to spend about 200 for somebody that's really good to overhaul it. You know, I wouldn't pay. You're going to pay $200 for an overhaul from me. You know, but I would rehair the new ones. I wouldn't do now. I only did these for like 125. This overhaul here was $125. I restyled the hair. I didn't change the hairline. I didn't rip that off. This is a very difficult mask to take the hair off. Really hard to take the hair off. What I can do, if there's enough hair on the mask, you put a new glue line in there and then you pull this down over top and let it stick. But there's barely any hair on this thing. That's how that mask came. There was barely enough hair to do anything to it. I'd have to rip off the hair and then rehair it. I like the hair that I'm using a lot better than that stuff. Yeah, that hair is not really that nice. Doesn't really do it. It's not awesome. So anyway, I'm going to jump off of here. I'm glad you guys joined the stream. Hope you enjoyed what I was doing. Hopefully it took something away from this video and all my videos. Learn something. That's the best thing to do about it. Is you want to always learn something. You know, get something out of it. YouTube is a wonderful. I love YouTube. I really do. I just think it's such a great tool to learn so much. You can learn so much. And I showed you how to fix an ear. Pretty much. Just need to fine tune it to make it look nice. Get them equally the same. Want them to look the same. I don't think I did the aging process with you guys. I don't think I showed you that. But what I basically do with that, just so you know, in case I don't, because I like to jump in and really go at it. Use plastic whenever you're doing your lines. Use a piece of plastic over top, especially with monster clay. You don't want your, in other words, I'll take this tool here to make lines, and I'll make the lines right into the mask on top of the plastic. That keeps the clay from splaying and creating lumps. You don't want lumps. It's hard to explain. There's like that's all done this way. All right. See how this has got a bump in it? Now I have to smooth that out because I didn't use the plastic right here. But this here, I didn't have to do anything to because I didn't use the same method. The reason why I did this is because I needed that to be deeper. I need those cuts to be a little deeper so the detail doesn't get lost. There's a lot more layering to do. There's a lot more texturing to do to the face of this thing before it's actually done. You've got your main like lines that are in here in the sculpture, but you're not seeing the little tiny fine crooked lines that are in there. They're little tiny crooked lines that have to go in here. That all goes in, but that's in last. That's the very, very last thing I do, and that's after I already textured it, because those lines are so small and so tiny and so thin that if I put naphtha on there, it'll wash those lines right out. I mean, these will stay, but the real fine lines won't stay. So I have to make sure that I'm almost completely done before I do the real, real fine lines, and that gives you that authentic cracking look. It just gives it that extra. Oh wow! Look at you see all the depth. You see all the detail to it. So much better. So, all right, guys, I am jumping off here. These lips, they're banging. They're right on the money now. I have to. I gotta go get some work done. I got the other things I gotta paint yet, and I'm not gonna do that on film tonight. I just did the flesh tones on both the masks, but I also have to cut the eyes out and everything, the nose on the one mask. Can't wait to be done. And then again, am I ever done? I doubt it. I just don't want the pressure. I'm getting the molds done. That's when I want all three of these versions done and out of the way by middle of September at the latest. And how I'm going to achieve that is I'm not going to make the master molds. See this yellow right here? That's the master mold. That's made out of urethane rubber, and that's how you get it so where you don't lose the size of your mask. My intention is definitely not to make those until the fall. I'll have these in production. I'll make the master molds with the master. I'll make the master copies with the master molds, and they're the large mask anyway. That urethane master is the exact same size as the sculpture. So, and that's big. So, the ones I'll sell probably 99% of the time are going to be the 25.5-inch masks. Nobody's going to want that big mask. Very few people can actually fit into it. So, all right, guys. Hope you had a good night. Hope you guys enjoyed the stream. But I think I'm going to call it a night. Yes, I am. Let me just... Come on. There we go. Yeah, I think I'm going to call it a night, guys. Thanks for joining the party. There you go. There's a close-up of the cracks. Got some more work to do, that's for sure. See, if you go into here, you can see the different lines. Getting the basic textures down right now. Still have to do the forehead up in this area. Got some more fixing to do, that's all. All right, guys. Have a great night. Peace.